Good day, everyone. I'm Matt Harrison, and you are listening to the Geary Cast, the Malaga fan podcast for all the Gearys out there. Malaga have their first 3 points of 2025, and what a way to get it with a last gasp winner at Cartagena this previous weekend, courtesy of a lovely volley from Roko Baturina with the final kick of the game as well. On this slightly compressed preview show this week, we'll take a brief look back over that win before we preview this weekend's come-in game as Malaga kick off their jornada in the Segunda this weekend with a Friday night kickoff against Tenerife. Having beaten one relegation-bound club last time, I say relegation-bound, there's still hope for Cartagena maybe, but they do look quite doomed, which I'm sure we'll discuss shortly. We'll be aiming for another 3 points again this coming weekend with Tenerife also stuck in those relegation places and in deep trouble and could well be going down. And speaking of going down, and stop your dirty mind there, I'm joined by two people who always go down well on the Geary Cast. It's my Geary Cast co-host, Luke Chambers. How are you, Luke Chambers?
Muy bueno, amigo. How are you, Matt? I'm very well, thank you.
I'm good, by the way. Can I just give you extra praise at the start before we've even really kicked off? We've had like quite a busy week, and hence why we've had to squash the sort of two pods together. Also because we're playing Friday night, and just to fit everything in. I don't know if you did it on purpose, but you made the agenda and you've called it the Cartagena.
Well, to start with, it was a mistake. Then I thought, hold up, we can make this work.
That is a great pun. I'm very annoyed I've not thought of that before. But so because obviously we won't mention that, I thought that deserves a shout out.
Thank you, Matt. I thought they had gone with blinkered eyes through the rest of the gang.
And also, I did meet, we'll perhaps mention the Vamos episode I did because I have been to Cartagena this week. I did meet a lovely Cartagena fan called Ricardo. He seemed to know his stuff. I might pass that name over to him and said, you need to start a podcast and it needs to be called. And also joining us tonight is Chris Marquez. Chris, how are you?
I have no puns. I'm sorry. I have a few questions though, but that's maybe that's for later, I think.
Okay.
But I'm well. Exciting things going on, which you absolutely can't talk about, but very good things.
Okay, cool. So exciting things to look out for, and some mysterious questions. So that'll be interesting to hear.
No, it's not a very mysterious question. I can ask it now.
Okay.
That takes away maybe a bit the nerves.
Okay.
How many Friday night matches have you went to in La Rosaleda, Matt?
Oh, do you know what? I made a note of this, and I made a note to check this myself. Honestly, I think maybe one, but I can't even think what that one would be. It's certainly, it can't be more than one or two, but yeah, I was actually going to check this. So, yeah.
Do you like Friday night matches?
I don't know because I've not been to many now. It depends really. Like I'm not really, in some ways, not. I'm a bit annoyed at this one because it does mean I have to go straight from work, and yeah, it's a bit of a rush. But
it's a 9:30 kickoff, right?
8:30.
8:30. Yeah. 8.
Is it 8:30?
Yeah.
I got quite excited then because I thought I'd gained an extra hour to get there, but it's okay.
Sorry.
I'd say I've got a big Andaluf holiday planned for the next few days because I'm off work next week, so we can maybe mention that.
We noticed this week when Gavi came home from school and said, "I'm free the next week," and we said, "No, you're not." Yes, the teacher told us, and I said, "What the hell?" So I looked in the school app, and yeah, it was true. And I have something really nice because the school Gavi goes to, they play music every day.
Okay.
And this week, because they change the song every few months, they are really Malaga fans at school. But really, listen to this.
My favorite song to do in Malaga. I wondered why he'd been sending that all day in the group chat. I thought, what's he
Because
on with here?
I don't get to go to bring Javi to school much, and not going very much to pick him up because I'm always working. But today I had a day off, and so I brought him to school, and I went to take him from school, and they played this morning and this afternoon.
Nice. Well, yeah, we can't hear it very well, but it is the Porque Te Quiero, which is always a fun one after the himno. Let's go to Malaga Club de Football then, and obviously we'll talk about that win in Cartagena before looking ahead to this weekend's game. Luke, you've got some results from around our other teams, so give us the lowdown on them to start with.
Yeah, so all in all, it's been a fantastic weekend for Malaga as a club. Atletico Malagueño made it 12 wins from 12 home games in the league, which is unbelievable. They beat third place Ude Torre del Mar 2-0. This, of course, without that man Chupete, who was on first team duty. The goals coming from our centre-half, Santaella. Can you remember seeing him, Matt, in Baracaldo?
He did, yeah. He was quite good, I remember.
The second goal from Juan Molina. But however, things wasn't all as planned. Again, this was the third game on the bounce. Malaga went down to 10 men. This time, a certain naughty Marquez, not our Marquez, David Marquez was sent off very late on in the game. The game were already dead and buried, to be honest. Malaga Femenino, they also had a great win. This one in El Derby at home to Cordoba, where they were 3-0 winners. So this result leaves Malaga Femenino 7th in the league and looking comfortable for the end of the season.
How many points are Atletico Malagueño ahead now?
Just 3, because Real Jaén scored a last-minute winner in their game. The two teams are way ahead of anybody else, but it looks like it's going to go all the way to the wire.
Yeah, great. Great. And also, just before we press record, Luke, I think you said there was another result, which is a little bit of a disappointment, but a good story all around, I'd say.
Yeah, fantastic. So the Malaga, and I always get this word wrong, Juvenil. So the basically the Malaga youth, they obviously, like we mentioned yesterday, travelled up to Real Zaragoza for the quarterfinals of the Copa del Rey. They unfortunately got beat 2-1 in that game. So the dream is over, but a great experience for the young kids once more.
Very good, a very good job.
Yeah,
and I have a name. And that's on the list for one to watch, and that is Rafita of the Atletico Malagueño.
Where's he playing, Chris? Attacking, defending, attacking.
Midfield, I believe. But I saw the match against number 2, and it was he is everywhere. He's really good. Wow. I have a question before we kick off, because I think that was the last bit of news, wasn't it?
Nope.
Okay, go ahead.
So we've also got the teasing of a new shirt. I'd be honest with you, I haven't really followed this much. I saw like the headline, but Chris, you've sort of been around the club over the past few days. Any gossip on a new shirt?
I tried to look around the club, but I didn't see anything. No, joking. What we do know, because we do know a few things, the one of the pictures is from the Bull Arena.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
With the scent, that's the bullfight arena, and the other one is a towel from La Antigua Casa de Guardia.
Ah, cool.
See, I thought people were joking about it. Is that actually true then?
Whatever Christian Makowski says, exactly. I believe.
Yeah.
I don't see him as a funny man.
I hope he's not listening.
And he even sent proof with it.
Okay.
Well, maybe we have to search, because then I was thinking, maybe we have to search somewhere in the middle between the Antigua Casa de Guardia and La Malagueta, which is the bullfighting ring.
Yeah. I think maybe the
McDonald's. I think McDonald's is about halfway.
Well, what we can say, I mean, the club was very cryptic about it. So I think what we can say is, what they said is, we did this last season and that went crazy. So we are doing it again. Well, what did they do last season? What was totally crazy? that was the 120 years. So I guess, and that is what most. There it is. I have it here somewhere as well. What every Malaga fan thinks is that it's going to be another replica or another remake of a historical kit.
Well, I was going to say with the La Casta Antigua, maybe a purpley burgundy shirt to go with the Bermuda sold there. And I know a popular one is that purpley burgundy with the green sort of hexagons or things down the side.
I am ready to spend some money.
Chris, that's the first time I've ever seen you in a football shirt.
Yeah,
Ever.
I don't see it very often. Yeah, so
And now you understand why.
So Chris has just put on the anniversary shirt from last year, which again is sort of, I don't really blame the club doing it again. They must have made a nice bit of cash on the side from that last year. So obviously,
take it.
Yeah, Hummel have been great partners to Malaga over the past 2 seasons now, and we've got a lot more partners because obviously we spoke recently that many clubs in the area, around 60 clubs, have signed up to this sort of framework agreement. Clubs like Fuengirola, Rincon de la Victoria, Atletico Benamiel, quite a few. And Luke, we've got a new, perhaps the biggest name to join this network. Who has joined the Malaga framework? Should we do a better name than that?
Yeah, I think it is. It's brilliant. It's very much a club what's on the up as well. We've got Antequera, the link with Antequera. So this is more than just your, say, the UK kind of style of we can loan youth kids out and stuff like that. It's an actual whole. I was trying to think to regionalize it. We're not really calling it Southern Spain, are we? But the Costa del Sol and beyond. A really good link. Yeah, the province, that's the right word. Antequera is going to benefit just like they did last season via using Malaga's facilities when needed, the training complex. And effectively what I believe is Malaga kind of get first say on the best young prospects from Antequera. A really good move for both clubs.
I think so, but I also think I'm happy, but I also think it's a bit, not a strange move, but it surprised me a bit because Antequera is doing very well. They could be in Segunda next season.
Yeah.
And that's where I think maybe a bit, I didn't expect it.
No, I agree.
Because I think Malaga is the one who benefits more from this than Antequera does.
Definitely. I thought the exact same, like you've just said, for next season, Chris. We could be playing in the same league. Are we getting the upper hand on Antequera before the season's even started?
But it worked now because I also think it works both ways because players who aren't there yet or are good but maybe are not able to count with minutes for Malaga, like a Musa, for example.
Yeah.
I think it works both ways. So also, instead of going to Marbella, maybe next season players like him would go to Antequera. So I think it's very good, but it surprised me a bit just because Antequera is about to, well, not just about, but have a good chance to get promoted.
Yeah, and actually, the way you've just put that to me now, the obviously because they're a Malaga-based, Malaga province club, I wanted them to get promoted anyway. But now you put it like that, I think I really like them to go up. Is anyone else we want to see in the league next year, Luke, of the Primera clubs?
Looking through, I mean, same as you guys, I would love Antequera to come up. They are very much the Malaga mold. I mean, even the kits are the same, as you mentioned before, Matt, regarding Hummel.
We both have the Sabora Malaga on the kit. You know what I mean?
Every time I see the kit, I'm thinking, it's Malaga's got a new away kit. But big fan of, as you will be as well, Matt, Cultural Leonesa. Currently 8 points clear in the northern section. They're really going to take some stopping. But for anybody who doesn't know, I think every groundhopper enjoys seeing the pictures of Leonesa's ground. Very good fan base as far as I'm aware. I would also, for the romance of Spanish football, I would love Heracles to come up, maybe through the playoffs, maybe with a last-minute goal against Tarragona. I think that'd wonderfully satisfy all of us.
Can I also say how much I love? Mention how much I love El Nuevo Mauli.
Yeah, you have mentioned that definitely. Although the visiting Spanish Segunda crowd, was it 2 weeks ago? They enjoyed it, but didn't share your vibrant love for it. We'll say.
Yeah.
More importantly, Matt,
They don't
obviously
have faith.
you'd be the one going to these games. Who would you like to see go up?
Well, I sort of forgot about like the divide of the league, so I only really looked at the one side. But you're right about Leonessa. Obviously, my boys Ceuta, I'd like to see, and for the reasons you've just said. When I was with Alex Fitzpatrick on the weekend, I was very jealous of him going to Hercules the next day. And yeah, I think if they'd be the two I'd like to see up with Antequera if possible. I think it could still happen, like 3 from the same league go up. But it can't, can it? Because there's got to be a winner. So yeah, two of those 3 to go up.
I would like to
Oh
see
yeah, they can, Matt. Yeah, of course they can. Castellón, Cordoba, Malaga. So yeah, it could happen.
I would love to see this club going up just because of their name. I don't know anything of them. Sestao River Club.
I've heard of him. I don't know anything about him, but I've heard of him.
Oh yeah, I've been through there. It's my brother's been there. It's on the river in Bilbao, I think.
It sounds so Argentinian.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they wear
I'd agree with that.
they wear green and black. That's a great shout, actually. I think it's near Baracaldo. I'm certain it is. Town next.
The problem is that they're 18th on the league, so
The dream is over before it's begun.
I'm not sure how big their chance is. But there's a lot of new teams in it as well. I mean, Baracaldo's there.
Yeah, we like them.
Unionistas.
Yeah.
Tarazona. Zamora.
As long as we stay away from B teams, as long as B teams stay away, we're happy.
Anyway,
Orense.
let's
Argentairo. Sestao.
yeah. Oh, Sestao, the one. Yeah, they're the ones I was thinking of.
Beautiful names.
Yeah, Sestao is the one that's on the river in the in Bilbao, I think, or near
And
the river.
Baracaldo, of course, Matt. You've been to Baracaldo.
I have indeed. A strange night. All right.
Joaquin Gabilondo.
Yes, yeah. There's a reason why I keep wanting Joaquin Gabilondo to play in front of Carlos Puga, even though my brain tells me that's not the best thing at the moment. But let's get to the big boys then. Let's move away from that little league below us and talk of B teams. Let's talk about Malaga's A team. And they did, we could say they brought their A game points-wise on the weekend, but maybe it wasn't the most glittering performances. We'll just sum it quickly.
Before we start, if you had to put out a headline, what would it be, Matt? After this match.
I think I did think of one, and then Luke put it in our WhatsApp group. So I don't know. He might just think I stole it off him. So
you can say it. You have to come up with another one then.
Okay, I haven't really thought of one now though.
Luke, you can share.
Can I say the original?
Yeah, go ahead.
So everybody obviously remembers the great wrestler The Rock. So do you smell what The Rock is cooking?
But you have to say Rocco.
Yes, yeah. You smell what Rocco is cooking. I wonder why the silence.
Yeah. And also,
if Malaga was big in the UK, you would put in the Guardian on top of the.
Oh, no.
Did you notice or do you know what the Rocco is cooking?
You smell what the Rocco's cooking.
You smell what the Rocco is cooking.
Yeah. I haven't thought of one. That was the one in the drunken haze of Cartagena. I was sitting there thinking of puns, and that was the one I got to. And then I put in our WhatsApp the next day. I thought of a great headline for the podcast, and I'd forgotten it. And then Luke put that in, and I was like, "That's the one. That's the one I thought of." But
I am surprised because we've been waiting for this moment all season. When Rocco signed, I know you and Nick were doing cartwheels, thinking this is the perfect name for headlines, and then he hasn't proved headlines.
Yeah. We shouldn't.
We should say something with Toothless Malaga escaped, something like that.
Let's get into it then. So, like, obviously, the start. There's no Rocco in the starting 11. Chupete started his first away game, and Izan Moreno came in for Ramon, who was on the bench, and of course, not a surprise really, but we haven't seen him for a long time. Murillo started a centre back in place of the suspended Pastor and the injured Nelson Monte. As Chris has suggested there, Malaga not playing their most dynamic football. It was both teams very much on sort of looking like a 0-0 with the occasional chances. I think on the Vamos episode, I was perhaps a little bit more positive, and then watched the highlights back, and I was like, "Yep." I don't know why I was quite that positive, but that's what a lack of sleep and alcohol does to you. So, Luke, what did you make overall of the? What did you make of the performance overall before the very, very last minute?
Sluggish. I thought Malaga really dropped Cartagena's level. Cartagena came out, I wouldn't say on fire, but they came out with a good tempo. And I think it shocked Malaga a little bit. However, I think it was clear to see after 35 minutes, Cartagena kind of ran out of steam. And from this moment on, obviously Malaga tested their goalkeeper for the first time around the 40th minute mark. From this moment, I expected Malaga to really progress. And obviously with Aaron Ochoa Maloney coming on at halftime, he looked so good to start with. Ramon with a perfect play to come on at halftime as well, just to get hold of the ball, because Malaga really struggled to keep the ball. I thought we couldn't make any attacks because we couldn't put 5 passes together.
Yeah, I think you used sluggish there, Luke. Chris, you've already used the adjective toothless. So what did you make of the performance overall?
I was shocked by Cartagena, to be honest, but like really shocked. Because I since we play in Segunda, we always played them. It's always a very tough tough team to play against, and I also think it's a very nice club where things are. They also always have a decent team who, and I didn't recognize any of it.
Yeah, it's I know Alex Fitzpatrick did more of a thing on the Spanish Segundas sort of match day podcast, and he spoke about like how they've overachieved over the last few years, and they had Julian Calero, a guy that's very briefly featured on this podcast. He did very good as manager, and then since he's gone, it's all sort of fallen apart quite quickly. And it was, I don't know if it came across on TV, but the saddest thing for me was it's my second time there, and last time I went, I think it was on like a Wednesday night, and it felt like under the lights, the stadium felt quite buoyant, and like you're quite close to the pitch, and it felt like a good atmosphere. It was a Saturday afternoon kickoff. It was so empty, and like because the top tiers, I can't remember. It's quite like it. Yeah, it was just looked empty, like all around us, and it felt flat. And in a way, I don't know, it sort of made the game a bit flatter, because I think the Malaga away end was really quite lively, as it sort of always is. And about 20 minutes in, we sort of, all right, the team like wore us down a bit, because we're like, all right, they're not bouncing off our energy. Just quickly, because you mentioned Aaron Ochoa Maloney, Luke, and you've only just sort of explained what happened to me, because I was a bit confused why a player ran off the pitch literally seconds before kickoff to bring on Aaron Ochoa Maloney. Do you want to sort of say what you think happened at least?
Yes, obviously I was doing the commentary on our X page, and the camera quickly went over to Julian Lebete, fully stripped, everything, and then Sergio Pellicer just shouting at Aaron Ochoa Maloney to get stripped, and I'm thinking, Aaron Ochoa Maloney for Izan, obviously on a yellow card. I thought it's a bit attacking. Anyway, so then it was quite clear to see that Lebete looked quite distraught. He got sat down, he chucked his boot on the floor, and then the replay showed you. So for anybody watching on YouTube, I could do it again. I've already showed Matt and Chris. Basically, the players are just doing a very quick stretch, jogging on the spot, quick little jump and then a spin. Basically, Lebete just seems to have landed a bit awkward on his foot. Obviously, had the foot injury earlier on in the season. He made the call straight away to come off, which is a shame for him, because I think recent weeks is looked by far one of our best players. Luckily, the news has come out that he's in full training again, so he must have just tweaked it.
Yeah, of course. So that was a bit strange, but Chris, perhaps at the end when it looked like it was all done, something else strange happened. Last kick of the game, a striker flying through the air with a volley. Roko Baturina with a brilliant goal to win the points at the end for Malaga. What did you make of his goal and maybe, I don't know, his performance in general?
if there's one thing with Roko Baturina, he missed a few chances, but he at least always gets a huge chance. He puts himself in a possibility or in a position that he every time he plays, he gets his big chance. And I think this should give him a lot of encouragement and power and maybe belief, because that's also a bit something you need.
Yeah.
That he can score more goals. Because his positioning is very good. He always creates a big chance. You can't deny that.
Yeah,
But
I
the
agree.
ball has to go in, and that's a bit of luck, and that's a bit of everything. And this wasn't even the biggest chance he's got. He just, I don't know, he bergkamped it.
Yeah, it was a brilliant goal. I didn't realize because I was standing pretty much behind the net, so I couldn't make out. I could see their goalie, and then I could see the ball coming towards me, and I didn't, I worked out who scored quite quickly, because you speak about confidence, Chris. I can tell you for the minutes after the game, or we were in the stadium for about 20 minutes after the game, and the players were having a warm down, and the whole away end was chanting Roko, Roko, Roko Baturina for ages, and you could see his face he was big smile on his face. So hopefully that will give him confidence. And we should say, I thought it was a brilliant goal as well. I watched it back.
The finish with that of a player who scored 15 goals this season. The confidence to take that on. And the thing what I was trying to illustrate to everybody so much on Twitter or X, whatever it is, was literally, if that ball doesn't go in that net, the whistle is going. That was the last kick. I think we're at 3 minutes added on. We were on 93 and 10 seconds or something. Just a question for you, Matt. Was there any worry in the away end that Cartagena would have got a penalty or VAR would have gone back? Because it was quite a pathetic call, but I imagine when you sat in the ground, everybody automatically looked over to the ref thinking, what's happening?
Well, that was it. The question was, what's happening? We didn't really know what happened, but then it was only really after the game, and I think it was on the Vamos episode, and obviously I did an interview with Alex Fitzpatrick for their podcast. He kept bringing up the controversy at the end, and I was like, how big a deal is this controversy? Because I hadn't seen it back. I didn't see it till the next day. So
yeah,
to answer the question, we knew there was something going on, but we were all quite confident that
I think it could have been a penalty.
It could have been.
I thought it was very, very soft.
I think it'd been soft.
But listen, there's a difference, because there's a difference between England and the rest of the world.
Oh yeah, definitely. No, I get that. I know that.
And in England, when they shoot off your head, it's a yellow card. But you know what I mean? It's not.
Yeah,
I know. And I love that from the English football. I think football should be everywhere the same. But I think he is holding him back. His hands are where they aren't supposed to be. If it was the other way around, we wanted a penalty.
Yeah, I think maybe the main talking point, what we've all kind of not ignored but forgotten about, was the Cartagena player missing that header about 3 yards out a minute before. That was a real point of luck for Malaga.
Yeah, but also I think it was Rocco missed that chance where the goalie made the 2 great saves, didn't he? Yeah, just on the penalty really quickly, because I know we were going to try and wrap it up to go to the Tenerife part, but I think after the game, Alex made a point that, and if that had been in the center circle, it would have been a free kick. Definitely. I would say that. And then, that means technically it probably should have been a penalty, but
if
I was
it's a free kick, it's a penalty.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the rules, but it sort of in the real world on the pitch, it just that doesn't happen, does it? It should happen, but there you go.
But
I mean, after them celebrations, if that goal got called back, that would have been disaster.
There are also a lot of moments where we were unlucky, and now we had luck on our side. And another time, Cartagena will have luck on their side.
Well, yeah, they're not having much of it at the moment.
No,
and I can tell you their fans that we spoke to pre-match were just like, yeah, you're going to kill us. You're going to destroy us. There was no...
That's also with the teams, because we had it when we were playing in the relegation season, when everything goes against you, even when you play better, you'll lose. And even fouls or penalties you should have gotten, you won't get.
Yeah.
Everything seems to go.
I mean, the thing is for Cartagena as well, they're 18 points in the relegation zone. That they must have no hope whatsoever. At least when we went down, we had a fighting chance towards the end.
If they did something wrong to us in the past, we could have named this podcast Cartagena. But
well, yeah, they did sell us Ruben Castro, so there you go. No, I stayed again. I thought you did all right. Okay, really quickly, guys. Luke, your Chumbo and Biznaga, we'll do both together.
I personally think it could have been a few, but I'm definitely giving it to Manu Molina. I can't recall seeing Manu giving the ball away as much as he did, especially in that first half.
Yeah. Okay, and your Biznaga?
My Biznaga honourable mentions to Ramon and Aaron Maloney, thought they were great coming on. Ramon especially, and also for Murillo coming in after his last start. Matt, I heard on the Vamos. I looked into it. His last start was over a year ago, and he's rarely come off the bench or anything. But he was someone who he proved once more that he's a player you can rely on. For the romance of it, I can't not give it to the match winner on this occasion. Such a big 3 points and such a great goal. So Roko Baturina.
Okay, Chris, who are you going for Chumbo and Biznaga?
I don't really have a Chumbo, so I'm joining Luke because Luke thinks Manu Molina.
Okay. Who about you?
Biznaga. Well, you have to go with the 1800 style of that goal. The beauty is, I like the old art, the old buildings, castles. So it's for Rococo.
Nice, nicely done. For me, I sort of had two names for Chumbo, and one of them was Manu Molina. So I'm probably going to pick him of the two. The other one I had was Izan Marino. I didn't think he was great either.
Yeah,
and was
and
sort of escaped a bit, and obviously he's young and stuff. I get that. I didn't think he was great. My Biznaga is, I think you've probably named the players I was going to say. Alfonso had a couple of moments in this game that were pretty good, just to give him a little mention. And it was good for him to get a clean sheet again after a few, not bad performances from him, but, lack of clean sheets. But I thought the game changer, and I said it in the Vamos episode, I thought Ramon changed the game for us and made us much more positive, as did Aaron Maloney. And yes, what a brilliant goal from Roko Baturina too. So hopefully, a better performance coming up this weekend, but we'll very much take a 93rd minute last kick of the ball goal as well. So let's go to the Tenerife game. Not looking good for Tenerife, Luke. You've put here on your agenda, discuss what's gone wrong at Tenerife to be where they are now. So go ahead.
I kind of got my answer straight away, but like many Spanish teams, obviously. But the change around at the club every summer throughout the season, they're changing the manager 2 or 3 times every summer. There's at least 10 players missing out. This is all eventually it's going to, that kind of instability is going to catch up with the club, and I just feel that this is one of those moments. Like ourselves, they really struggle to score. You're not going to win games if you don't score goals. The top goal scorer is Youssef Diarra with 5 goals from the centre midfield. So I don't know. I mean, they've always been a strong club. It's just I feel times are just caught with Tenerife a little bit.
Yeah, Chris, do you have any sympathy with Tenerife down there? Because I seem to recall you always quite liked Tenerife.
I think it's a very historical team in Spain.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't remember their, what was it? De La Peña?
Yeah, was he there?
I think so, was it La Coruña? I don't remember. They won something in Europe, didn't they?
Yeah, the Intertoto Cup.
Yeah.
I don't even count that.
I do count it because it's the only prize Malaga Club de Football.
Yeah. It's a qualification process.
You know what I mean?
I'm glad you pulled that one back.
No,
even the most important. That's the most important prize there is on this planet. I mean, who wants the Champions League if you can have an Intertoto?
Yeah, I never got it because there was 3 winners of it technically, because it was just qualifying and 3 teams qualified. It was stupid.
Yeah, probably that's why they stopped with it.
Yeah, which is good.
What do you guys think of the Conference League? Is that something you?
I like the Conference League.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
I think it's a very good thing.
It's fun. It's got lots of teams I saw when I lived in Central Europe are in it. So
I think 90% of the teams are from Central Europe, isn't it? Or
yes.
at least that's the way it feels.
Yeah. So obviously, Tenerife are looking like they're a long way from European football again. They could have Primera Federación football again next season. Luke, how is their form at the moment? How is it looking? They are down there in 20th or 19th. I can't remember.
They are currently 21st, second bottom in the league, and the form guide really stinks for Tenerife. So weirdly, when I was looking into this, the last time they actually won away from the Canary Islands was a year and a half ago.
Wow. I knew they had a season, but wow, that's great.
It was actually against Real Oviedo a very, very long time ago. So they've only actually picked up 3 points away from home this season. That's 3 draws. They've scored 9 goals in 13 games, which we would say very much like Malaga. But on the road, Malaga have actually scored, I think it was 16 goals. So we do actually hit the back of the net a couple more times away. They recently appointed Alvaro Carvera. So he used to be the Tenerife manager for 3 seasons before moving on to Cadiz for another 6 seasons. So you would imagine he's the man to try and revive the real push for this survival.
Yeah, he was, when I first moved to Spain, he was the Cadiz manager. And obviously that Cadiz team of his was the one that got promoted and sort of blitzed the league when I first moved to Spain, the Segunda. And they were like a tough, not fun to watch team. But I remember the Cadiz fans absolutely loved him. And he's going to make them tough. I think he's only got 2 wins out of 9 with them so far, which, is not an awful record compared to the people before him, but it's not game changing stuff. Just quickly on him, I like to sort of dig this random crap out because he did get Tenerife promoted, as you said, so he's got history there. He I think he grew up in Tenerife, but do you know where he was born?
In Malaga,
Gran Canaria.
Wales.
He was born in Guinea because apparently, I'm guessing his parents worked there. Definitely said his parents were working there. So I don't know what his parents were doing there, but he's born very much in Central Africa is.
He has actually. When you look at the clubs, what he's managed. God, I've got marriage on my mind. He must be a respected manager at these levels for sure. I mean, Recreativo, Racing de Santander, Tenerife twice, Cadiz, Real Oviedo, big clubs.
Yeah,
I think I recall Alex Fitzpatrick saying last week or the week before, even on the Segunda show, maybe that he has improved Tenerife already. Probably more like you're saying, Matt, not in terms of points, but maybe the way they play. Although Cordoba went to Tenerife last week and scored 3 goals. So I don't know. I'd be very disappointed if we don't come away with the points.
Yeah. My only other stat on them is they're the team that's used the second most amount of players in the league. Alongside,
I don't think that's a good thing, to be honest.
No, absolutely. That's what I was going to say. But I was going to say alongside relegation scrappers Eldense and Cartagena. But strangely, the team that's used the most players is Elche, who, of course, have been generally doing very well in this league. So, but you're right.
I thought we might have been in amongst that as well.
We're quite low, I think. I think we kept the same sort of nucleus. But I think the year we got relegated, we were high on that as well. I think we'd used the most players and we had the oldest team. So it's
Can you guys remember the away game in Tenerife, which were also midweek?
Remind me. Oh, we won, didn't we?
No, we drew. That was Tenerife. I believe it was Tenerife's first points of the season as well.
I think the easiest answer you can.
He messed with the team. Sergio messed with the team, if you remember, because Chris, you weren't a fan of it, was you? Why he messed with the team so much?
Yeah.
Yes, I do remember that now.
0-0.
Yeah, I remember it was the season before, I think, when Guede just about got us to stay up. We won in Tenerife towards the end of the season. That's the one I was thinking of. We won like 3-0 or 2-0 from nowhere. Obviously, we've mentioned the manager, Chris or Luke. Any sort of players jumping out at you? There's not many to get the pulse racing, I've got to be honest.
I've got one. And in terms of quality, it's a real struggle. However, Juan Day is coming back.
I forgot about that, to be honest. I must have skipped over his name.
Juan Day moved on to bigger and better things, and unfortunately, I think he's going to end up back down that well. Where will their well be, Matt? Will they be in our former division?
No, it can change because I think it could be, but wherever the divide is, usually I've noticed in the lower leagues, I don't know if it goes this low, but the teams from the Canary Islands, they're usually matched up with the teams in Madrid just because there's more flights to Madrid.
Because like this is, when you think about it, this is huge for Tenerife. If they drop, like
it's like us dropping.
Yeah, it's huge for anybody, but a real struggle. The only other player as well, Matt, probably more, I don't know anything about the guy other than when I clicked on him. He signed for Tenerife in January. It's called Fabio Gonzalez, and he signed from Las Palmas.
Oh, right, okay.
So obviously, I'm sure everybody knows, but he must be a ballsy player to make the move from Las Palmas to Tenerife, because that is a fierce rival.
Michael Mesa, not a bad player.
Yeah,
they have pretty good players.
Yeah.
Enrique Gallego.
Yeah, Gallego. I think he's 38 now. It's like to think he won't cause us too many issues.
But he's the one I felt like when I clicked on him, I felt like I'd seen him play like live a lot, but he's been at Tenerife so long that I've only ever seen Tenerife once, actually.
They have a Juicy Diarra. I mean, every player with the name of Diarra is a success, isn't it?
Yeah, well, he's the top goal scorer, as pointed out.
And one day, of course.
The only other one that I made a note of, there's not much to say really, is they've got Sergio Gonzalez, who again I think was like really key in that Cervera team, the Cadiz team. He was at Cadiz and was really good in that team. I seem to remember him being really good. It's Sergio Gonzalez. I might have got him muddled up with another name there. It's not a name that can get buried.
When I was scrambling for information just before we came on the pod, on average on Sofa Scores, the top player is Luis Cruz, a centre midfielder. Can't tell you anything about
that. A lot. If your top goal scorer is a centre midfielder.
Yeah, let's shuffle over to Malaga then. So I'll just give a little bit of sort of squad news, and then I'll come to you guys with what you might like to see change or not changed. I'm not sure. Obviously, Carlos Burga and Pastor are available again after suspension. Luismi and Monte are progressing. Slight chance of making the squad, but it sounds very unlikely. And the usual suspects are still out. So, Chris, obviously the team we played against Cartagena, there was a couple of surprises in there. Obviously, Murillo played because he had to. Maybe Ramon going to the bench for Marino, and of course playing Chupete and Dione up front. What would you perhaps change or keep?
I think Chupete and Dione is something that I don't think is going to work a lot.
Okay,
in my opinion, because we didn't play with two strikers for the whole season. So why change that now? I understand that sometimes you need to change something, but I didn't.
He played as like a second striker, wasn't he? But you're right. Yeah. I can see why people might not think it works.
I just don't really see it. I think I prefer playing a 4-3-3. Mm-hmm. I think, or a system we have been playing the whole season. But I would try a 4-3-3 more, maybe.
Okay. Any sort of other names? If you're going to take out a Chupete or Dione, would you just play one of them? You mean?
I would start with Dione. And why? Because I think it's important to have one striker and not change too much. Yep. You can always bring Roko Baturina in the second half, or you can always bring Chupete in the second half.
Well, this was going to be my question. I feel just before Christmas, Rocco seemed to be picking up a little bit. I think he's played all right in a few games post-Christmas. He's got this goal. Luke, do you think we try and take advantage of his confidence now or not?
Yeah, for me, I would start Rocco. I don't think Dione's been He's not had the most successful 2025 as of yet. And I think Dione also has a good impact when he comes off the bench. I agree with Chris. The Chupete, Dione, what we have been calling for, I can't recall it working too well in Cartagena. I mean, I can't remember Chupete touching the ball for about an hour at least.
Yeah,
the only other changes what I'd be looking at, Matt, is Ramon coming in for Izan. I think you said on Vamos Salah, Ramon's the best player at the club, and he just changes the way that we play. He really does. The other ones, what I could potentially be looking at is probably trying to get Antonito in for Dione. Obviously, Roko for Chupete. If Lebete isn't fit, I hope he is, but I can't really see him starting. But Aaron and Joe Maloney deserve to get his start. I'd also not really be jumping at the chance of chucking Pastor in there. I think we should say give Murillo a bit of gratitude and let him keep his place. I don't think he did anything wrong.
Do you guys think that, of course, when Chupete scored, everybody was, Chupete. But do you guys think he's up for playing in Segunda already? Because I don't see it, if I'm honest.
I get what you mean. I just think he deserves a fair chance. I
don't say it will never. He has to be ready someday. But at this moment, I think it's too soon.
I think if there's any chance to try it, now is the time.
Got to be now when we've only got 2 strikers and he's got 20 goals in 6 months. And you can say about the level, but we've got to, he's a Malaga player. We've got to find out, haven't we? And I'm
not saying like he's a bad player or anything, but when he plays, it isn't with
raw.
There you go. That's why I'm agreeing now, saying, right, we've sort of seen it. Okay, let's push him back to the side a bit. And like I'm saying, I would start Roko in this game. But he is going to be part of the first team now, isn't he? So we've got to give him his chance.
I mean, we've got to look at it. I think I said it on last week's podcast. Obviously, he's just signed a 3-year deal. So Malaga's putting a lot of confidence in the lad. Dione's probably going at the end of the season.
Yeah,
Roko probably also, unless Roko kicks on, which I hope he does. I can see Roko going. If Chupete is not starting, I think he's got to be that first attacking sub, if you know what I mean. If we're going to change our striker. If Chupete can end this season, I don't know, 5-6 goals, then that's something big for him to push on with next season as well.
You know what worries me? The situation there's not a situation, but Sangali and Juanpe.
Okay. What's the worry?
Well,
they wasted.
They're professionals, but they don't seem to be in the plans.
No, certainly Juanpe.
Not at all. You know what I mean?
I think Juanpe is still injured. I think he's just coming back from injury.
Yeah, but I feel like Pellicer has given Sangali opportunities, and when he's not taking his opportunity, I mean, like Manu Molina, for example. Manu Molina, he sort of emerged from nowhere halfway through last year, didn't he? And just absolutely seized that place, which was probably there for Sangali. So
for me, Manu Molina started away at Granada. That's where it started off for Manu Molina.
Absolutely. That's the first. There was a couple of glimpses in the game before, and I think when we played Ceuta away, I know, Nick sort of eulogized about how amazing that pass was, and then I think that got it underway, really. But to be honest with you, I sort of agree with mainly what you guys say. I wouldn't do Dione and Chupete again. I'd probably chuck Roko up front and get 3 of the youngsters behind him, whether that's David Larrubia is probably always going to start for me. Lebete, if he's fit, he's been the best player in 2025. And then Antonito, I know we sort of went for him, and I had a bit of a go at him last week. Kevin looked much more composed when he came on the pitch at Cartagena. He sort of dragged him around a bit.
He was the first one to celebrate as well. He was close.
Of course.
You never see Kevin sprint that fast unless he's celebrating. He has got to be the first one there. Yeah. Sorry, Matt. I just missed a thing out. Obviously, you said Luis Me is not a million mile away. I don't know about you guys. I would not even be considering him for this. No, After Tenerife at home, we've got Almeria away, Cadiz at home. Luis Me won't be missed at home to Tenerife, I'd like to think. However, away in Almeria and Cadiz at home, he's vital that he's available.
I also think he keeps us back a bit because he defensively is very strong. but he attacking, he doesn't offer much.
Can agree.
Well, I think what me and Nick said last week, I'm starting to feel is the direction we're going, that when he's fit, I think it might be Manu Molina that gets ousted, and Ramon, if he can stay fit and play in the way he's playing, that it'll be Luismi and Ramon in the middle, because there's a better balance there. That Luismi is much more defensive, but Ramon, all the passes are going forward, so I think they'll work well together. But we'll see.
I think Manu's had a couple of quiet weeks, really.
Yeah,
which we can talk. He's had a great season. He's had a very good season, but then 4, 5, 6 games down the line, and you're thinking we've not really spoke about Manu. He's got to try and keep it up.
Yeah. So just going up just with my team, I'd keep it pretty much the same. Ramon would come in for Izan Marino. I'd probably give Antonito a go. I think neither of you mentioned it because perhaps it was just too obvious to say, but I'm guessing you both agree Carlos Puga comes back in for Joaquin.
Well, Joaquin took quite a lot of stick, I was seeing. And then as the team of the season, team of the weeks came out, Joaquin was in that. And then I think it was Malaga that put some stats up, and Joaquin were like absolutely blitzing. Yeah, the stats. So I don't mind either.
That's always been my stance, but I think Carlos Puga has been much better. But we haven't mentioned him. We should just quickly give a shout out to Joaquin he is the guy that put that really good cross in for Roko to score from. It was a lovely cross. So,
and I think if you ask me, Puga is more attacking wise, is more dangerous. Yeah. That's why he offers a lot more attacking. So that's why I would like to see him instead of Joaquin.
In La Rosaleda, definitely, I'd say, yeah.
But I think I absolutely agree with that, but only because I just think Puga whips in across better and quicker. I think they both get forward, but then it's quite funny, isn't it? That now we're like, oh yeah, but didn't Joaquin put a good cross in last week? But yeah, I agree.
I'm also in love with Puga loves a scissor. I'm also a bit in love with Dani Sanchez, by the way.
Yeah, definitely.
Because whenever he's on the pitch, he gives like 3,000%.
Well, the thing is as well, though, Chris, last season was probably more about his heart, whereas now, like you just said, he gives 3,000%, but he's also improved his quality a hell of a lot.
Yeah, I think I said on the podcast last week that behind Lubete, he's been our second best player in 2025.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Yeah. So we'll start wrapping things up, guys. It's an obvious answer, I guess, to this. Chris, this coming Friday, 3 points or nothing. We've got to go for 3 points, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. It would bring you to 38 points.
Yeah.
Then it's only 12 points left to safety.
Yeah, true. Yeah. And I think it's going to be even less than that. But yeah, you want to aim for 50, definitely.
The crazy thing is, did you see the top of the league?
Yes. And it's 7 points.
There's 1 point difference between the first 5 teams.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. That's one
if you had to choose one team where you say, I think they should win the title, who would it be?
I still think Almeria is going to come strong again.
Yeah,
it's not what you think; it's what you want.
I've got.
I want a huge. I want a huge push from Malaga.
I'm saying Oviedo.
I like Oviedo. The Mirandes story would just be crazy. They're probably the two. I've got no particularly strong feelings about Huesca or Elche. Racing, I find quite interesting and quite fun, but sort of a bit.
I think Oviedo deserve it.
Me too. I just like Oviedo. So
I think it'd be good for Sidlow. Get him back in La Liga.
Be good for Spanish football.
That would be crazy.
Yeah. So and obviously, Luke, you will be in attendance as well on Friday. You're coming over. Are you confident of seeing 3 points?
Yes, I don't normally fly over with any confidence whatsoever, or I try to limit myself. I used to be like a little puppy dog, and every time I went, Malaga's going to win, we're going to win. And I think I've got them written down. I think I've seen them win like 3 times in about 25 games. So
really?
Yeah, honestly, my record is shite.
I'm
classing Tarragona. I'm classing Tarragona as the ultimate. I'm putting 5 wins on that tick. But the main thing for me, guys, is I want to see a good.
But we didn't win in Tarragona either. We draw.
I know, but I'm classing this as a win. Don't take this from me. Yeah, I think a performance is key. Maybe a couple of goals.
Yeah.
You
And
still have your jacuzzi at home?
You are?
You still have your jacuzzi?
No, I've just got rid of it, actually.
Oh. Also, I would have said, please stay in your jacuzzi next time watching Malaga.
and
It's
just
horrible stats.
and also, Luke, you talk about your Malaga stats there, but you're raising your Spanish ground stats this weekend. You're doing a whole weekend of football, aren't you?
Yeah, so I'm having a real football Mundial. Obviously, Malaga versus Tenerife Friday night, and then me and Guiricast legend Paul Henahan, we're going to head over to Granada for Granada versus Real Zaragoza. And then on the Sunday, I'm treating myself to some real non-league football to watch. CSCD Argentino versus Juventus Torremolinos Bay. And then I'm going to head over to Sede Chiriana versus Atletico Pizarra if I don't choose alcohol instead.
I don't know if I should mention the other game I'm watching this weekend on a Malaga.
Don't do it, Matt. Don't do it.
Do it.
I'll keep it. We'll just say I'm going on a little Andaluf adventure this weekend. I'm going up to Seville on Saturday, and then I'm going to Cadiz for 2 nights. And yeah,
everybody try and think which one of those would be the worst game for me.
I'll tell you, it's the lesser of 2 evils. I'll just leave it at that.
Tell me which one is the lesser. Because I couldn't tell you.
If it makes it better, I've got a free ticket.
Are you taking the Malaga hoodie or t-shirt, Matt?
That's why I'm not mentioning which one, so I can sort of put my snood up. And no, it's a ground I've wanted to visit in a while, and I've never Malaga. It's always difficult to get tickets, so I was there anyway. Got offered a free ticket. I was like, well, I'll tick it off finally I'm going to put my ground hopping hat on, and then keep it's out there now. Right.
Did you guys know something?
I know quite a lot.
Didn't win, but they are through in the Champions League.
They are indeed. I did think of you.
It, of course.
Oh, yeah, I thought this would come in at some point.
Yeah. I waited a long time.
Yeah, you did. Right at the end. So congratulations to Feyenoord again. Yes. And then we'll finish things there. So I'll say thank you, Chris Marquez.
Thank you. Before I go, I want to say something. We're making a big map with a lot of countries because we want to know where every Malaga fan is from. So if you're listening, the countries we have done so far are Singapore, America, France today, Finland, England, Wales, Australia. We have no replies because people listen a lot from Australia. So please go into our social media and respond if you're from Singapore or Australia. What other countries did we do? Denmark, Sweden, Norway, Germany, Wales, Netherlands. I think it was.
Yeah. Apologies. Yeah, because I do have written down here to plug things. So if I was meant to plug that, so I'm glad you've plugged it, Chris Marquez. And yes, go and what's the word? Interact with those posts if you are from any of those countries, and wait for your country to come up, because I know Chris is working his way through all the countries which apparently we have listeners in. I've mentioned already, but there is a new Vamos episode out from Cartagena if you want to listen to me get drunk and talk to people from Northern England about Malaga and the Spanish Segunda show and a Danish guy that anyway, thank you, Luke Chambers, and we will see you on the weekend.
Thank you very much, mate. Can't wait. Counting down the minutes to see you all. Jumping on with the Geary Army. Obviously, Matt working, so we're not doing the usual camina around Malaga. It's going to be a bit weird, but looking forward to it. Vamos Malaga.
What time are you arriving, Luke?
About 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's
on Monday, though.
Are you staying in Pino?
Saltimore near the marina.
Ooh.
So keep an eye out for Luke Chambers.
If you find him,
I'm not.
Whistle 3 times.
Pardon?
If you see Luke Chambers walking around the Costa del Sol, whistle 3 times.
So if someone go keep him company with drinks
and yell pickpocket.
I'm with Paul. Remember, guys, I'm football mundialing.
Pickpocket.
And yeah, we'll say thank you guys, the listeners, as always. Go and check out our social medias and interact with all the bits and bobs there. Follow us on YouTube, subscribe on your podcast things, and we will see you soon. Adios, vamos, Malaga.